Briefing on December 12, 2024. Subject: Reports from the New York Times. 1. Neuroscientists believe that psychedelic drugs may help enhance leadership in the workplace. Research has found that these substances increase the brain's entropy, breaking conventional thought patterns and aiding in tackling challenging leadership issues. 2. Some business leaders have begun experimenting with psychedelic drugs, gaining professional insights. However, there are concerns that this may place undue pressure on colleagues. 3. The National Labor Relations Board has accused the popular reality show Love is Blind of multiple labor violations, classifying the show's participants as employees, which could trigger a ripple effect throughout the reality TV industry. 4. Argentine President Javier Milei, a controversial right-wing libertarian, has garnered significant support both domestically and internationally. He has met with Donald Trump, who praised him highly. 5. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol is facing impeachment and resignation pressures, but has unexpectedly refused to step down, insisting on his position and vowing to fight to the end against his opponents. 6. The U.S. government is working to locate American journalist Austin Tice, who has been detained by the Syrian government. The collapse of the Syrian regime has provided new opportunities for finding Tice, but the whereabouts of senior officials remain elusive. Overall, these reports encompass various fields, including psychology, labor rights, and political turmoil, reflecting some of the current hot topics and trends in society. The editor has carefully selected these contents to balance information density and readability, presenting readers with a rich and concise briefing. Briefing content. On December 12, 2024, The Washington Post reported the following key information. 1. Over the past 4 years, women have exerted unprecedented influence in the U.S. federal government's technology policy arena, holding key positions and leading critical issues such as artificial intelligence, antitrust, chip manufacturing, and internet connectivity. 2. However, with the Republican Party's significant victory in this year's elections and the departure of key figures, this situation is set to reverse, with men poised to replace women in these important roles. 3. Federal Communications Commission Chairman Jessica Rosenworcel will step down next year, to be succeeded by Republican nominee Carl. Federal Trade Commission Chair Lena Khan will also be replaced by Republican Andrew Ferguson. 4. Senate Commerce Committee Chair Maria Cantwell and House Energy and Commerce Committee Chair Kathy McMorris Rodgers will also lose their positions, with Republicans Ted Cruz and Morgan Griffith taking over. 5. Trump has also nominated several male candidates for other significant technology policy positions, including Secretary of Commerce and Director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. 6. This shift signifies a major setback for women's representation in technology policy at the upper echelons of government, marking a significant regression for women's participation and advancement in these fields. In summary, the article highlights the substantial progress women have made in the federal government's technology policy sector over the past 4 years, but as the political landscape changes, this situation is about to reverse, with men regaining dominance in these key positions, posing a significant challenge to female representation and diversity. Briefing content. On December 12, 2024, The Wall Street Journal reported on the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. According to veteran law enforcement trainer Keith Hansen, this may be part of a new wave stemming from the Occupy Wall Street movement. Hansen noted that this incident reflects the disillusionment and anger of a generation that feels entitled to trophies as they enter the real world. They are beginning to express strong dissatisfaction and hostility toward corporations and their CEOs, a sentiment that resembles a proletarian uprising. Worryingly, the actions of suspect Luigi Mangione have been celebrated and supported on social media, with some even comparing him to Robin Hood. Although Mangione is not part of the 99% class, his actions are still viewed as targeted and motivated. This incident has drawn significant attention from corporate executives. Many companies are reaching out to security experts to assess risks and consider enhancing protective measures. Hansen mentioned that his security contacts have received a surge of inquiries in the past week. Overall, this incident reflects the existing class tensions and widespread dissatisfaction with corporations in society, warranting serious attention and preventive measures from businesses. Briefing. Financial Times digital subscription promotion. The Financial Times has launched a digital subscription promotion, offering a 4-week trial for just $1, after which the monthly fee will be $75. This offer provides readers with full digital access to high-quality Financial Times news coverage on any device. Subscribers can cancel at any time during the trial period. This promotion aims to attract new readers to subscribe to the digital version of the Financial Times, allowing more people to enjoy the publication's premium news content. For those looking to gain comprehensive insights into financial markets and business dynamics, this is undoubtedly a great opportunity. In summary, this promotion offers an excellent entry point for the Financial Times digital subscription, helping to expand its readership while providing readers with a low-cost trial opportunity. Briefing on December 12, 2024. Subject: Reports from The Guardian and related news. Key information points. 1. The UK government has frequently invited business leaders to participate in public sector management, sparking controversy. The previous Conservative government invited department store mogul Philip Green to serve as an efficiency advisor, but his involvement was criticised due to allegations of tax evasion and other scandals. 2. The government's over-reliance on the opinions of business elites risks undermining the legitimacy of politics and the public sector. The government should focus more on public interests rather than merely pursuing efficiency. 3. The Guardian reported on the upcoming Protect Journalists from Exploitative State Surveillance Act in the US, which is poised to be the most powerful press freedom protection law ever, expected to gain bipartisan support. The bill will prohibit the government from secretly requesting tech companies to provide journalists communication information and protect journalists from disclosing their sources. 4. The judicial system in England and Wales is in crisis, with a severe backlog of court cases, leaving victims without timely justice. The government needs to significantly increase judicial funding rather than merely emphasizing its zero-tolerance policy. 5. French President Emmanuel Macron is facing a serious political crisis, as his decision to hold early legislative elections has led to a political deadlock. Macron should recognize that those who lose elections should not dominate the political landscape and should respect the will of voters by forming a more representative government. Overall, these reports reflect the complexity and uncertainty of the current political and economic environment in the UK and Europe, calling for the government to pay more attention to public interests and uphold the legitimacy of democratic institutions. Briefing content. On December 12, 2024. 1. The Times launched a series of short films titled Understanding Your Era, showcasing the stories behind journalists, including facing death threats, legal disputes, resilience, and integrity, highlighting the challenges behind news reporting. 2. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol announced and subsequently lifted a state of emergency last week, triggering strong backlash domestically. Despite his apology, there are still calls questioning his governance capabilities, with even impeachment proposals surfacing. 3. The New York Times recently published an article objectively analyzing the severe deterioration of immigration issues during the Biden administration, marking the largest wave of immigration in U.S. history. The article pointed out the pressure this has placed on social services and employment, although the Times still attempts to defend the Biden administration. 4. Overall, these articles reflect the challenges faced by journalism in reporting the truth, defending justice, and balancing political stances. Whether it's the Times' behind-the-scenes stories or the New York Times immigration coverage, they embody the difficulties and value of journalistic work. Below is a briefing based on multiple articles provided. Briefing on December 12, 2024. Subject: UK government pushes for real estate development with planning policy relaxation. The UK Labour government has released a new national planning policy framework, easing restrictions on green belt land development. Local governments can first develop lower-quality grey belt land before considering high-quality green belt land. Labour leader Keir Starmer stated that the housing needs of the people are more important than protecting the natural environment. Russian court fines Google hundreds of trillions of rubles. A Russian court has imposed an astronomical fine on Google, amounting to 2 followed by 36 zeros in rubles. This is due to YouTube's ban on Russian state media channels. The court has ordered Google to restore these accounts within 9 months, or face a daily fine of 100,000 rubles. Biomass power company expands into renewable aviation fuel business. Drax, a major renewable energy company in the UK, will use 1 million tons of wood annually to produce sustainable aviation fuel. Drax has reached a multi-year partnership agreement with US company Pathway Energy, with potential for future expansion. Once operational, Pathway's sustainable aviation fuel plant could produce up to 30 million gallons of fuel annually. New adaptation of 100 Years of Solitude draws attention. Netflix has launched a new adaptation of 100 Years of Solitude, receiving positive reviews and rekindling interest in this classic work. The novel reflects Colombia's history and present, with author Gabriel Garcia Marquez having worked in Cartagena. The fictional town of Macondo in the novel bears many similarities to the real-life town of Mompox. Briefing on December 12, 2024. Subject: Notre Dame Cathedral reopening ceremony. Key information. 1. On December 12, 2024, Notre Dame Cathedral will reopen to the public following a religious ceremony. 2. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump will attend this event, marking his first international trip since being re-elected. Trump will meet with world leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. 3. This event is seen as a diplomatic summit, as Zelensky is expected to meet with Trump, which is significant amid heightened tensions between NATO and Russia over the war in Ukraine. 4. Attendees will also include heads of state from Germany, Italy, Poland, Bulgaria, Lithuania, and royal members such as Prince William of the UK. 5. Trump praised the remarkable achievements of the restoration work at Notre Dame under Macron's leadership and expressed his eagerness to collaborate with Macron for peace and prosperity. Summary: the reopening ceremony of Notre Dame Cathedral will serve as an important diplomatic summit, with U.S. President-elect Trump in attendance and expected to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky, holding significant importance in the current tense international landscape. This event will also gather numerous world leaders, showcasing France's influence in cultural diplomacy. Briefing content. 1. The Star Wars franchise has achieved tremendous success over the past 45 years, becoming an integral part of global culture. The new series Star Wars: Skeleton Crew continues this legacy by blending classic elements with modern technology. 2. Industrial Light and Magic, ILM, is the unsung hero behind the scenes, responsible for shaping the visual style and emotional tone of the new series. ILM has relied more on practical effects and real props rather than extensive green and blue screens to create a more authentic and natural effect. 3. Sound design is also a hallmark of the Star Wars series, with each character having a unique sound identity that helps viewers immerse themselves in the story. ILM's sound team is dedicated to creating meticulously designed soundscapes for each scene. 4. Despite the rapid advancements in modern technology, the ILM team strives to maintain a visual style consistent with the original trilogy to ensure coherence between the new work and the classics. 5. The character Neil in the Skeleton Crew is also a highlight, with his performance blending practical effects and digital enhancements, creating a vivid and realistic portrayal. In summary, Star Wars: Skeleton Crew not only continues the classic style but also fully utilizes modern technology, providing viewers with a more immersive viewing experience. The dedication of the ILM team adds a unique charm to this work. Briefing content. Severe situation of violence against women in Germany in 2024. 1. In 2023, Germany recorded 360 cases of femicide, marking a record high in the number of women murdered. 2. During the pandemic, domestic violence cases surged in Germany, and even after the pandemic ended, the situation has not returned to pre-pandemic levels. Many regions lack resources for women's shelters, and rising rents, gender pay gaps, and inequities in caregiving work have left many victims unable to escape their abusers. 3. Germany is enacting the Protection Against Violence Act, requiring the government to establish new women's shelters and allocate support resources. However, it remains uncertain whether this legislation can be passed before the conservative government takes office in 2025. 4. Some politicians tend to politicize the issue of domestic violence, blaming it on immigrant communities while ignoring its prevalence across cultures and classes. This approach hinders comprehensive solutions to the problem. 5. The author calls for greater attention to and opposition against various forms of insult and harassment against women in everyday life, especially in an environment where even the U.S. president is accused of sexual assault, as these behaviors may signal more severe violence occurring. Briefing. The Most Popular in Germany Award, a benchmark of trust and guidance. As consumers grow increasingly skeptical of online reviews, finding reliable product recommendations has become more challenging. The Most Popular in Germany award has emerged, judged by real consumers and organized by the Süddeutsche Zeitung and market research company Innofact, providing consumers with objective and fair product quality guidance. The award covers a variety of everyday products, such as relaxation masks, ergonomic backpacks, and eco-friendly fertilizers, offering consumers a basis for informed purchasing decisions. Starting from the 2023-24 fiscal year, ratings will adopt a school grading system from 1 to 6, with 1 being very good and 6 being unsatisfactory. Additionally, the Süddeutsche Zeitung provides readers with secure and reliable information reporting channels, including the Secure Drop encrypted communication system, PGP encrypted emails, and encrypted instant messaging software, maximizing the privacy and security of information sources. In summary, the Most Popular in Germany award and the information protection measures of the Süddeutsche Zeitung provide consumers with trustworthy product recommendations and information reporting channels, reflecting the media's social responsibility. China Daily Briefing. 1. On December 12, 2024, the 2024 China Mermaid Open and Asian Cup were held at the Atlantis Resort in Sanya, Hainan. This event provided a stage for spectators with 13,500 tons of seawater and an 11-meter deep outdoor area, allowing them to enjoy the elegance and charm of mermaid diving through a 16.5-meter wide and 10-meter high transparency organic glass. 2. Foshan Tourism Group CEO Bao Jianjun stated that mermaid diving, as a perfect combination of sports and art, injects new vitality into high-quality tourism development. The successful hosting of this renowned international event at the Atlantis Resort in Sanya helps enrich Hainan's sports tourism offerings, meeting the demand for high-quality and diverse travel experiences, and contributes to Hainan's establishment as a national sports tourism demonstration zone and supports the development of Hainan as an international tourism consumption center. 3. Despite some Western countries having imperfect human rights records, they continue to make baseless accusations against China in the name of human rights and impose illegal sanctions. The Chinese Foreign Ministry calls on the US and Canada to immediately lift illegal sanctions against relevant Chinese personnel and to cease such malicious actions. China has consistently urged the US and its allies not to politicize human rights and not to harm the interests of the Chinese people under the pretext of human rights. 4. China has made significant progress in protecting human rights, adhering to a people-centered development philosophy, and continuously strengthening the legal protection of human rights. However, countries like the US and Canada attempt to suppress China using human rights issues, which will only exacerbate the deterioration of Sino-US relations and hinder constructive dialogue and potential cooperation in advancing global human rights. Briefing on December 12, 2024. 1. Boeing 787-9 aircraft from Japan Airlines and All Nippon Airways experienced restroom drainage failures on Tuesday, forcing both planes to return to their departure airports. The two aircraft did not share a common cause for the malfunction. 2. Japan, the UK, and Italy will jointly develop the next-generation fighter jet, with deployment planned for 2035. The three countries have established the GCAP, Global Combat Air Programme, international government organization, headquartered near Reading, UK, with former Japanese Deputy Defense Minister Masami Oka serving as the first CEO. 3. A landscaping company in Choshi, Chiba Prefecture, is mass-producing katamatsu decorations for the new year, expecting to ship about 1,000 pairs to the Tokyo area by the end of the year. These decorations will be used at the entrances of hotels, commercial facilities, and other venues. 4. Former Osaka District Prosecutor Kenji Kitagawa has been accused of sexually assaulting a female prosecutor in 2018 while in office. The victim felt extremely despairing and distressed after the prosecution changed its stance to a not guilty defense. 5. China is the world's largest potato producer, but potatoes are highly sensitive to high temperatures. Researchers at the International Potato Center have found that planting under simulated future climate change conditions could lead to more than a 50% drop in potato yields, posing a threat to global food security. Chinese farmers are taking measures, such as planting more heat-resistant and disease-resistant new varieties, to address the challenges posed by climate change. Briefing on December 12, 2024. 1. Japan's annual kanji character, kin, was selected. 2. The selection of kin reflects the outstanding performance of Japanese athletes at the Paris Olympics and Paralympics, as well as the widespread impact of political funding scandals. 3. Kin has been chosen as the annual kanji 5 times before, typically during Olympic years, with the most recent selection being for the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. 4. The character kin represents both gold medals and money, reflecting the dark fundraising behaviors of politicians and the ongoing rise in living costs. 2. Japan's national diet passed the supplementary budget for the 2024 fiscal year. 1. On December 12, the House of Representatives passed the supplementary budget for the 2024 fiscal year, thanks to a cooperation agreement reached between the ruling coalition and the Democratic Party for the People. 2. The budget received support from 4 parties: the Liberal Democratic Party, Komeito, the Democratic Party for the People, and the Japan Innovation Party. 3. The ruling coalition and the Democratic Party for the People agreed to raise the taxable income threshold from 1.03 million yen to 1.78 million yen, starting in 2025. 4. The 3 parties also reached a consensus on eliminating the gasoline tax surcharge and stated that they would continue to engage in good faith discussions on specific implementation plans. 3. Japan's energy policy is being adjusted. 1. The Japanese government will remove the phrase "aim to reduce reliance on nuclear power" from the next basic energy plan, instead adopting the wording "not overly reliant on any specific energy source or fuel." 2. This marks a significant shift in Japan's energy policy, reinstating the importance of nuclear power in the future energy structure. 3. The new energy plan will set a target for nuclear power to account for 20% of total electricity generation by the fiscal year 2040, while significantly increasing the proportion of renewable energy. 4. Kansai Airport Group's performance is strong. 1. Kansai Airport Group's performance in the first half of the 2024 fiscal year improved significantly, with operating profit reaching 30.6 billion yen and net profit reaching 16.9 billion yen. 2. This improvement is primarily attributed to a substantial increase in foreign tourist numbers, with Kansai International Airport recording a historic high in overseas passenger numbers. 3. However, geopolitical changes in key source markets such as South Korea and China may create uncertainties for future performance. Briefing on December 12, 2024. Subject: Sydney Morning Herald. 1. December is the busiest and most stressful time of the year, but dedicating just 1% of each day can alleviate stress and maintain clarity of mind. 2. The federal government will launch a 10-year plan to address the unequal health issues faced by the LGBTI+ community in accessing healthcare. Additionally, the government will expand the coverage of childcare subsidies to benefit more families. 3. Reserve Bank Governor Michelle Bullock has shown a more moderate stance on interest rate hikes, but rates are unlikely to decrease before the election. 4. The former Cyro Energy chief criticized Peter Dutton for politicizing the organization, calling it disappointing and absurd. 5. The taxi industry in Victoria is calling for action against rogue drivers, prompting police intervention to force taxi drivers to turn on their meters. 6. South Africa's 2-0 series victory over Sri Lanka sets the stage for a showdown with Australia in June for the World Test Championship title. 7. American Olympic champion Gretchen Walsh has broken the 50-meter butterfly world record, which had stood for 15 years. 8. Author Irvine Welsh will release his new novel, Men in Love, on July 3, 2025, along with a corresponding music album. He expressed his long-standing love for disco music. Briefing on December 12, 2024. Subject: Turmoil in Canadian politics, tensions between Finance Minister and Prime Minister's office. Key information points. 1. Trudeau is once again trying to recruit former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney to join the government, possibly as Finance Minister. Carney is seriously considering the proposal. 2. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland and the Prime Minister's office have developed disagreements over issues such as increasing political strategy spending, leading to deteriorating relations. Freeland may be unable to achieve the previously promised fiscal deficit target of 40 billion Canadian dollars. 3. Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador have reached a principled agreement to renegotiate the Churchill Falls hydroelectric contract, which will bring more benefits to both parties. This will help alleviate the long-standing tensions between the two provinces. 4. The Bank of Canada has again significantly lowered interest rates by 0.5 percentage points and indicated that future rate hikes will slow down. Bank Governor Tiff Macklem stated that this is to address new downside risks such as slowing economic growth and population growth. Summary: turmoil is emerging in Canadian politics, with increasing internal conflicts within Trudeau's government and Finance Minister Freeland facing the risk of marginalization. Meanwhile, Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador have reached an important hydroelectric contract agreement, easing long-standing tensions between the two provinces. The Bank of Canada has also adopted further easing monetary policies to address economic downturn pressures. Overall, the political and economic situation in Canada is fraught with uncertainty. Briefing. Subject: Housing crisis and insect outbreak in Australia. Housing crisis. 1. Due to soaring property prices, rising rents, and the impact of the pandemic, more Australians are being forced to move away from city centres to remote areas or suburbs. This has led to significant increases in commuting times and severe disruptions to family life. 2. Regional property prices have skyrocketed, making areas once considered relatively affordable now difficult to manage. Many people have had to abandon their communities and support networks in search of cheaper housing. 3. The housing issue severely affects children's education, with some schools facing enrollment difficulties due to population shifts. It has also exacerbated social isolation and mental health issues. 2. Insect outbreak. 1. Due to climate change and other factors, Australia is experiencing large-scale outbreaks of various insects, including cockroaches, Christmas beetles, flies, and mosquitoes. 2. These insects not only cause annoyance in people's lives, but may also spread diseases such as dengue fever and malaria. 3. While some insect populations are declining, overall, Australia is facing a serious insect outbreak problem, closely linked to climate change and human activities. In summary, Australia is grappling with a severe housing crisis and insect outbreak, both of which profoundly impact people's quality of life. Addressing these issues requires collaborative efforts from the government and various sectors of society. Briefing content. On December 12, 2024, Singapore State Coroner ruled the death of 46-year-old Gino Ong K-Yong as a suicide. Ms. Ong chose to take her own life due to financial pressure stemming from 2 lawsuits filed against her by Raymond Ng, the husband of Iris Ko, founder of the anti-vaccine group Healing the Divide. Before her death, Ms. Ong left 2 handwritten notes blaming Mr. Ng for her demise. She also posted a Facebook message detailing the enormous legal costs incurred due to the lawsuits and their impact on her health. The state coroner concluded that Ms. Ong had clearly expressed her intent to commit suicide, with no signs of foul play detected. Additionally, Mr. Ng and his wife Iris Ko are embroiled in legal disputes related to other cases involving vaccine misinformation. Overall, this case reflects the serious legal and financial consequences that the actions of anti-vaccine groups can have on ordinary individuals, warranting societal attention. It also calls for more mental health support services to assist those in need. Briefing content. 1. Odisha and Jharkhand are collaborating to bring back a female tiger that was released from the Similipal Tiger Reserve in Odisha. The tiger has crossed state lines into Jharkhand, posing challenges for local conservation efforts. Odisha may also need to collaborate with West Bengal, as the tiger may enter that state's territory. 2. Climate change is expected to significantly increase the risk of landslides in high mountain regions of Asia. According to NASA's research, under high-emission scenarios, the landslide risk index in most mountainous areas could increase by over 40% by 2100, particularly in the Himalayas. Appropriate emission reductions could significantly mitigate this risk. 3. A 34-year-old IT professional in Bangalore, Atul Subhash, committed suicide, alleging harassment by his wife and her family. Police have initiated investigations against Subhash's wife, Nikita Singh, and her family, but Nikita's mother and uncle have fled their hometown. 4. The Mandya region is set to host the 87th All India Kannada Literary Conference, creating a vibrant literary atmosphere in the area. The organizers have arranged a large-scale Kannada literature, culture, tradition, and history knowledge competition, attracting 28,000 students to enhance local pride in the Kannada language. 5. Pope Francis publicly stated in Singapore that all religions are paths to God, a viewpoint confirmed by the Vatican and Catholic news agencies. This statement has sparked widespread discussion. Briefing. On December 12, 2024, U.S. President Biden announced the largest clemency action in history, commuting the sentences of nearly 1,500 prisoners and pardoning 39 individuals. This move has drawn criticism from Republicans, who accuse Biden of providing special treatment to his family. Meanwhile, some progressive groups are urging Biden to further expand the scope and scale of clemency actions before leaving office. On the other hand, reports indicate that the extremist group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham (HTS), previously affiliated with al-Qaeda, has overthrown Syrian President Assad's regime. This has sparked cheers among the Syrian populace, but also raised concerns about HTS's future governance methods. HTS leader Jabhar is attempting to reshape his image, but he is still accused of torture and suppressing dissent. Some observers believe that while HTS has successfully ousted Assad, its governing methods may not differ significantly from the previous regime. Additionally, reports indicate that the Israeli military's actions in Gaza and Lebanon have resulted in numerous journalist casualties, leading to accusations of massacring journalists. International journalist organizations have condemned this behavior and filed complaints with the International Criminal Court. In summary, this article covers multiple hot topics, including U.S. clemency policies, changes in the Syrian political landscape, and Israel's actions against journalists, encompassing political controversies as well as issues related to human rights and press freedom. The article attempts to comprehensively reflect these complex situations, providing readers with a well-rounded perspective.